In this video, we will talk about the top 10 CRMs for innovation districts in 2025. So let's dive right in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent technology advisory firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, system selection, change management. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is again top 10 CRMs for innovation districts in 2025. Before we look at the list, we would love to define how we define innovation districts. For the most part, these are communities, and this business model could be very similar for some of the other industries as well, where they might manage properties. They may have not-for-profit business model. In this case, a lot of innovation districts are not-for-profit business model. They are generally working in collaboration with research entities or universities. So there are some innovation districts overall in the US as well as globally. So when you look at the business model of innovation districts, they are going to host a lot of different tenants. They have rental business model. They have properties that they are trying to manage depending upon the arrangement. There are going to be different leasing agreements for the buildings depending upon the ownership structure, etc. So because of this, you are going to have many different personas and needs from the CRM perspective. In general, when we look at the CRM for not-for-profit, it's very thick compared to the CRM for other segments. For example, let's say if you look at this more in the trade-centric industries where they are going to have the traditional order-centric sales and marketing cycle. For not-for-profit, it's slightly different just because the CRM layer is going to be far thicker in general. So the criteria that we have used for this particular list is a product share, any sort of acquisition strategy. If the vendor's acquisition strategy might be aligned with the innovation district business model, then we generally capture that as a higher ranking product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, technology strategy, as well as the investors. For this particular list, we have considered only the siloed CRM. So any CRMs that might be part of any other product set or categories, for example, ERP, they are not relevant for this list. It should capture most of the customer-facing workflows, which is going to be sales, marketing, customer service, the way CRMs are generally packaged. In terms of size, most of the sizes are relevant. And again, when we talk about specific systems, we'll be touching on the specific size where each solution is going to perform well. So this list could be slightly generic, but once we look at the product, then I'll be commenting on the specific size for the specific innovation district. And in this particular case, we are considering all different business models. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is ClickUp. And ClickUp is slightly newer player. For the most part, they are adopted among marketing agencies, technology firm, SaaS, just because they have the collaboration-centric business model. And in terms of collaboration, ClickUp is going to be one option. There are several other options which follow very similar structure. And these companies have become big because of their fluid process as well as data model that did not exist in the traditional systems. So ClickUp is very comparable with systems such as Notion that is also used with a lot of different companies for CRM-centric needs. Sometimes ClickUp could be compared with Monday.com, Smartsheet, Airtable. That is a slightly different category that is far more ad hoc in terms of the process model, data model, compared to what ClickUp is going to offer. So it's going to have the collaboration aspect of the system, but at the same time, you are still going to have the formal business objects the way some of the traditional systems operated. So for the most part, ClickUp, when you look at the process model, it is really a project management centric solution. They call this as more of the work management, but some companies do use it as their CRM. Now, traditional CRM functionality might not exist inside ClickUp, so that could be a challenge, especially for innovation-centric business model. There might be challenges, but then you also have some benefits. For example, let's say for innovation-centric business model, you are going to have many different projects that you are doing, whether you are running any sort of events or construction-centric business model. They are also going to have several different projects, programs. If you have any sort of program structure, then for that, also you will require project structure. For that, ClickUp could be a great option. ClickUp's ecosystem is very well prevalent, so you are going to find a lot more options. It might not be as prevalent from the marketing automation CRM perspective, just because they are not seen as the mainstream CRM player. So those are some of the pros and cons, and that's number 10. Now, number 9 on our list is Monday.com. And Monday.com would fall under very similar category as ClickUp. Sometimes innovation districts, when they are smaller and they don't have appetite to go through the process re-engineering exercise. And in some cases, when you look at the formal CRMs or CRMs with the formal structure, and we have a lot on this list, if you want to utilize them, then you would require thicker implementation process changes that you have to go through. And sometimes companies are not just ready for it. They might not have as much implementation budget. So for them, it's a great start. Monday.com, ClickUp, you can get started on that, understand how your processes are going to work, and then slowly and gradually maybe move to slightly advanced platform. So Monday.com could be a great fit when you are operating as silos for different departments. They can have their own tailored workflows for each of those departments. The problem is going to be in communication collaboration when these departments have to talk with each other. The way Monday.com data model, process model is designed, it's designed to be fluid. So you can ramp up quickly, but then when you have to talk among those departments, when you have to centralize the customer data model, the sales and marketing centric data model, that's where you are probably going to run into challenges. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is SAP C4HANA. And SAP C4HANA compared to ClickUp or Monday.com would be slightly more enterprise grade system. So this system you are going to utilize when you have outgrown some of the mid-market centric systems. In this case, you are getting enterprise centric functionality when you are trying to consolidate all of your global CRM workloads. You may have many different CRMs that you have utilized per business model, per business unit. And even for innovation districts, when you look at their business model, sometimes some of the customer journeys that they are going to have may be related to universities, just because they are talking to a lot of different students. Then construction-centric workflows are going to have very different CRM workflows. So tying all of them together could be challenging, especially with some of the systems if the data and process model may not be as scalable. That's when you are going to run into challenges. For that, SAP C4HANA is a great system because it will be able to adopt a lot of different business models, sales and marketing journeys, depending upon the personas, different industries you can accommodate. So when you are trying to consolidate the enterprise workload, that's where SAP C4HANA is probably going to be a better system. A lot of other systems even the most popular ones may struggle with the scalability of their business objects when you have to customize. And for innovation districts, for the most part, you will have to customize CRM, because in 90% of the cases, the default functionality that you are going to get, regardless of whether you are choosing a CRM system for not-for-profit or for construction or for universities, you will have to customize. And the reason for that is because you are trying to accommodate many different business models, and smaller systems do not scale with that. And that's where systems such as your SAP C/4HANA is probably going to be a great fit. Some limitations that you are going to encounter with SAP C/4HANA, the core marketing automation centric functionality, when you're looking for that, it may not be the best fit for that. Any sort of website integration, omni-channel centric scenarios, if you are exploring all of those could be a challenge as well. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Oracle CX Cloud. And for the most part, Oracle CX Cloud would be very similar system as SAP C/4HANA. So the challenges that you are going to encounter with SAP C/4HANA, this will be a similar experience with Oracle CX Cloud. Again, this is a very large system compared to the other ones that we have discussed so far, which is your ClickUp and Monday.com. Those would be slightly more elementary systems, and these are far more enterprise advanced systems. And these systems you would utilize when you have outgrown smaller systems as well as mid-sized systems. Again, the intent here would be when you are trying to consolidate global enterprise-grade workloads, combining many different industries, then these systems would be great fit. Again, when you tie all of this together, the ease of use is probably going to be a challenge. So that's why some of these systems might be extremely difficult to use. They may have a steep learning curve. So if you are a smaller organization, if you are not ready for that, then maybe you want to utilize slightly smaller systems compared to going for the larger one like Oracle CX Cloud. Now, when you contrast this with your SAP C/4HANA, the main advantage with Oracle CX Cloud is that they have a lot more marketing automation systems that they have bought in the past. So you are going to get all of that. They have very rich CPQ. So again, depending upon whether you have any sort of quoting scenarios, for the most part, for innovation district, when you look at CPQ centric workflows, the only division that is going to be relevant for these workflows would be your construction property management, depending upon how much construction you are doing. For that, Oracle CX Cloud could be a great fit. And that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is Blackboard CRM. And Blackboard, when you look at their footprint, they have substantial market share in the not-for-profit space. They have a bunch of CRM and ERP solutions as part of their portfolio. They also have some solutions that are very deeply tailored for not-for-profit centric verticals. So you are going to get a lot from the not-for-profit perspective as part of your Blackboard CRM. Now, the challenge that Blackboard is running into, they were one of the best back in the days when they started because nobody offered similar experience as Blackboard. But now their technology is slightly legacy. So if you look at the cloud workload, they might not have the same functionality with their cloud options, what they are going to have with the on-prem variants. So that could be a little limitation there with Blackboard. Now, Blackboard, the way they approach their product design, it's going to be very tailored to not-for-profit. So you are going to get a lot more from the not-for-profit perspective. For the other elements of business model that you might have, construction, property management, they might not have as much depth in that. The way their process model as well as data model is going to be designed might not be the best fit for these ones. It may be harder to consolidate all of these business models as part of Blackboard CRM workflow. So that could be a challenge, and that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is HubSpot CRM. Now, HubSpot CRM is slightly different than the ones that we have discussed so far. So HubSpot CRM is really good fit from the marketing automation perspective. Anytime you have very complicated scenario in terms of how you want to distribute your newsletters, how you want to build your audience, how you want to engage with them, how you want to establish sequencing, how you want to build your assets and drive marketing funnel using those assets, and any sort of omni-channel centric scenarios, for those HubSpot CRM is a great fit. Now, when you get into the nitty-gritty of operational workflows and for innovation districts, for the most part, when you look at the customer-centric workflows, you are going to be far more nuanced and layered, because the way you are going to manage your property objects versus the operations that you have, and these are not necessarily the ERP workflows. These are still very customer or CX centric workflows that you are trying to implement. For those, HubSpot CRM may not be the best fit, just because the way the process and data model is designed, it's very limited, and enabling those layers, the kind of layers that you are going to need across your business models. When you look at the not-for-profit business model, construction business model, university program-centric business model that you have, all of that might be a challenge in HubSpot CRM. So that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Creatio. And Creatio is again very different overall in terms of its construction and packaging, the way Creatio looks at the CRM space. So Creatio, for the most part, they are slightly more technical system, and they are going to have a lot more low-code, no-code centric workflows. So enabling any sort of business workflows using technology workflows is easier, and the reason for that is the technical layers would be slightly more scalable in terms of what you want to accomplish. And that's where Creatio is probably a better fit for innovation district, because you are going to need a lot more customization to consolidate all of those different customer journeys. Those are going to be substantially different and unique, and they might not have as much commonality that you are going to find with the other customer-centric workflows in other industries. So Creatio, you can accomplish a lot more from the technology perspective. The challenge that you are going to run into is, number 1, you will require the proprietary knowledge and intel, and sometimes that could be harder to learn. You might have a steep learning curve in learning that, and if the documentation is not as great from the programming perspective, you might run into challenges as well. So that's where you are probably going to require a lot more consulting effort, implementation effort to be able to enable all of that inside Creatio, compared to the other platforms that are going to have pre-baked, pre-built workflows. Now, the other challenge with Creatio is that, again, you are doing a lot more work from the implementation configuration perspective that you don't have to do with the other platforms. And their ecosystem might not be as developed. For example, when you compare this with the likes of HubSpot or Salesforce. So those could be some of the challenges. And that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 CE, and this is the CRM platform, and they keep changing their name, so they might not call them CE. I think they have split this into 5 different products, and that collectively defines the CRM layer now for Microsoft Dynamics. So Microsoft Dynamics, when you compare this with the other platform, this is probably going to be smaller and slightly more disconnected than your SAP C4HANA or Oracle CX Cloud of the world. So in this case, you are still going to get very Salesforce-like experience, but your object structure is going to be slightly more structured depending upon how much formal structure do you want across those objects. And every time when you look at the object structure, you are going to have pros and cons of that. So with Microsoft, you are going to get much higher data integrity because of that tightness into the object structure, the process structure. With systems such as Salesforce, they like to take slightly fluid approach. So you are going to have ease of use, but then data integrity might be a little challenge with those systems. So here, the model is very formal. And in the Microsoft ecosystem, you have several other CRM players that might offer far more detailed, not-for-profit centric capabilities. Microsoft Dynamics, by default, you are not going to get as much not-for-profit, innovation-centric, innovation district-centric functionality that you will be getting with some of the other platforms. But overall, Microsoft Dynamics 365 CE is far more customizable when you are looking at the core platform and you are not looking at the constraints of the IP. If you utilize an IP on top of Microsoft Dynamics, then obviously their constraints are going to be far more relevant, because the add-on may have hijacked the object and process flows. So whatever they are going to expose will be available for you in terms of the customization. So even if the core platform might be a lot more customizable, once you use IP, you are limited by their constraints. So that's going to be a little challenge with Microsoft Dynamics, but it's a great platform for innovation districts, and that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Salesforce. And Salesforce is great for innovation districts. The reason for that is because Salesforce does have out-of-the-box, not-for-profit centric cloud. Now they are calling that as not-for-profit agent force, some naming from the AI perspective that they have developed. And obviously these AI agents are also going to be integrated with your Slack channels. So you have a little bit of community-centric workflow, which could be very meaningful for innovation-centric communities. And the reason for that is because this is a very community-centric business model. And if you are going to have technical platform that is going to help us in enabling that community experience, obviously that's a huge plus. Now, the challenge that you are going to run into with Salesforce is Salesforce is a very operational platform, very similar to your Microsoft Dynamics 365 CE. So if you are looking for all of those operational workflows, trying to incorporate all of those different industry business objects, as well as the sales and marketing customer journeys, you'll be able to do that. But when you look at this more from the marketing automation perspective, it's not going to be as rich. Even integrating your website and tracing the journey across different channels, that may be a little challenge. And even though Salesforce has the not-for-profit cloud, you will be limited by the licensing constraints of that. So that's where you need to analyze this a little bit more, how this is all is going to work. But Salesforce overall is a great platform for innovation districts. So that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Zoho CRM. And Zoho CRM is a great fit because it does have the same level of customizability as you will find with Microsoft or Salesforce. The advantage with Zoho CRM, the customization layer, the way they have designed, it's slightly simpler. So you are not going to require as much development help, consulting help as you would require with Microsoft, where if you want to customize anything, then you are looking at the core development workflow. So that means you have to go through technology teams to be able to customize anything. Yes, they have some of the low-code, no-code platforms as well, but still, you still have to define the architecture, how this is all is going to work. With Zoho CRM, the way their workflows are designed, just because they are slightly newer compared to Salesforce and Microsoft, so this is going to be easier in terms of customization. When anything is easier, obviously they are going to have the scalability limitations. So that's where you are going to run into challenges in how much they have exposed in terms of their object, etc. So that's where you might run into challenges in accommodating all of those workflows, different sales and marketing journeys that you have inside your Zoho CRM. But overall, Zoho CRM is a great fit. So that's number 1. If you have enjoyed this video, we publish them on a weekly basis. So hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. This is also available in the audio form. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, on all major podcasting platforms. We are also going to link our digital transformation report that we publish annually. You will find similar insights there for different platforms, etc. So maybe you want to check that out. We are going to link the QR code, and we are also going to link a detailed report, which is going to have much deeper insights with this video. So check that out. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.